What's up, everybody? Patch 10.2.5 for Seeds of Renewal is live, and my favorite feature in this patch is follower dungeons. I did a reaction video to this last night after the servers went up, and I was raving about how this is one of the coolest features I think that's been added to World of Warcraft, at least in the time that I've known, because it allows a new generation of players to step in, which is the people who are new to the game, people who've never played, people like my 8-year-old nephew who's playing with my brother and I, and who doesn't want to try to do looking for dungeon with people who are going to be rushing through and not allowing any time for new players, people who don't know the layout, people who don't know the shortcuts, people who don't know all the ins and outs and the mechanics and everything else. The looking for dungeon system is a great tool, and it allows you to do some pretty amazing things, and I've met some amazing people through it, but it is not keyed towards new players who have never played an MMO before, or new players who have never played dungeons before. So this new follower dungeon system is absolutely phenomenal because it keeps you to normal mode, so it's a great training wheels area. And then once you've learned the dungeon, you've learned the mechanics, you've learned the layout, and you know the dungeon, you can then graduate to the looking for dungeon, graduate to heroic mode, and then graduate to mythical mode beyond that if you want to. So one of the questions I got asked during my reaction video last night was, are you going to make a guide to the looking for dungeon system? And I am. So that's what we're here today to do. We're going to be doing a guide on how to do the follower dungeon system. We're going to break it all down for you. If this is your first time tuning into one of my videos, welcome. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. I stream daily at 8 a.m. Central here and on Twitch, multi-streaming since October of 2023. And I do a lot of different games, so make sure to check out the playlists. We also do movie reviews, TV shows, and a bunch of other stuff. And there's a Discord if you want to go the extra route. If you want to come join us, we are on the Moonguard server. We're just a normal guild, pretty casual, laid back. We do everything on normal mode for story. We do raids at 8 p.m. Central on Saturday nights. We're currently working our way through Dragonflight. We're in the second raid, Avarice, and we're working our way through to the third, and then we will be getting current and prepping for the War Within and the World Soul Saga. So if you're looking for a good casual place to call home, Risen is the place. We're on Moonguard. Hopefully we'll see you here. So without further ado, the first thing you need to pay attention to is that your class matters when it comes to running a follower dungeon, because what it's going to do is it's going to pull up to four other anyway, NPCs into your party based on your class. Now, it's also going to fill in any gaps. So if you have a friend with you or two friends with you, it'll just fill in the last remaining spot or spots with a relevant NPC who's either going to fill a healer, tank, or DPS role. They actually have a breakdown of who the people are, who the NPCs are on the website. There's like a paladin, a druid, a mage, a hunter. I forget what the other one is, to be honest with you. But because I'm a hunter, you won't see the hunter in this group because I am filling up that hunter slot. So the first thing you need to do if you want to go is you want to go up to the group finder like so. And in the drop down, you're going to pick follower dungeon. Okay? Now that's going to give you a list here. Once you have this list available, you can choose to either pick a dungeon that you want to do, or you can choose to randomly do a dungeon. If you want to do a random dungeon, you can click this top button and it'll just pick all the dungeons and it'll just randomly queue you up for one. Now, I actually have a quest called the 4th Challenge of Tyr, Resourcefulness. I think this is the one I'm thinking of. Obtain a power core from Watcher Iridius and defeat the Primal Tsunami in the Halls of Infusion. So because I have a quest that actually takes me to the Halls of Infusion, this is one of the key things of the follower dungeons that I'm so excited about, is this allows people who are new or people like myself. I'm on at 4 o'clock in the morning. I haven't had any coffee. I'm just waking up. I'm not medicated yet. I'm not ready for people, right? And plus I do Wednesday nights. This is a Wednesday morning. I do Dungeons with the Guild on Heroic and Mythical on Wednesday nights. So since I'm here on a Wednesday morning, it's early and everything else, I don't want to deal with people right now. I just want to do it for myself. I just want to get the story update that I need. And I don't want to deal with people trying to rush, because I want to read the story, read the dialogue, see the things. So since I have a quest for Halls of Infusion, I'm going to go ahead and queue up for this specific dungeon, and we're going to click Find Group. Now this is the same thing as normal. You're going to pick your role. If you have multiple roles, you need to pick them at the top. Pick the one that you're going to fulfill for the role, because this is what determines what NPCs are going to spawn with your character. So make sure that you've chosen the role that you want to play in this dungeon. If you have a class that can take multiple roles, like a paladin, for example, that could be a healer or a tank or a DPS, make sure to check accordingly. Once you've done that, just click Find Group, and it's going to queue you up like normal. You're going to get this pop-up as normal. You've been entered as damage roll, and we're going to click that Enter button. Now this is going to put us into the dungeon, and it will spawn the appropriate NPCs for us to play with. There's the entrance, and there's my NPCs. So as you can see, we've been given, and they're talking about stuff. Mage table ready. Come and grab a bite for later. So they're already spawning mage food, so that I could pick up some mage food for later. We got some tips. It said, the Earth Daughter said, everybody get your buffs on, so they're reminding you to buff. Merity the Mage says, your mage table's ready, come grab a bite for later. And Krenna the Earth Daughter says, check your adventure guide if you need more information about what you'll find here. This is important because the adventure guide is a tool that not everyone pays attention to, and you really should. So this is the Halls of Infusion, and if we click here, this is going to show the 4 bosses that we have to fight, right? Now, if you click on one of these, it's going to tell you the things that happen in normal mode and that you as a DPS player need to be paying attention to. If you were doing heroic, you would click the heroic tab. We're not doing heroic, we're only doing the base. So if you've never run the dungeon before, when you get to the boss mob or a boss mob, you can read the strategy and figure out what you need to do, right? Now, right now, everybody's on passive mode. And we have Captain Garrick, who is a paladin tank. We have Merity, who is a mage, a DPS. We have Shuja, who is a shaman. I can't remember who's the healer in this group. Krenna's the healer. So Shuja is a DPS shaman, and Krenna is a druid healer. So those are the NPCs. You're going to get these NPCs. There's one more who's the hunter. Those are the NPCs that you get. There's 5 to choose from. I don't know if they'll add more later on. I know the question in a lot of people's minds right now is, hey, are they going to allow our warband, our alts? Couldn't our alts be the characters that we take with us? I don't know an answer to that question. But right now, as of right now, there are 5 NPCs that can join you, depending on the makeup of your group. So once you're here and you're ready to go, you'll notice that everyone is on passive mode, and they're just sort of hanging out, right? Now they'll follow me if I move around and if I do stuff. But here's one of the most important things you're going to notice is that when you first start off, if this button isn't on your hotbar, it's going to be popped up in the middle right here. It's going to say Dungeon Assistance. You could drag this to your hotbar. So I like to put it somewhere. I just put it right here. This is where I keep my things. But if you hover over it, it says, it's behind my head here, toggle to allow a follower to lead the way. This is really, really, really important and a really cool feature. So, as of right now, everybody's in passive mode. So they're not going anywhere. They're just sitting with me. So if I know the way, I can lead the party, and what they're going to do is they're going to assist me in combat. So if I pull a mob, they're going to attack that mob. They're going to taunt. They're going to do DPS. They're going to do heals. They're going to do all these other things. So if I know the dungeon, then I do it this way. But here's the key. If you are a DPS class, and this is the fun part, you have to play this as if you would play strategically. You're not here to rush. It may take you some finessing to figure out where the sweet spot is between the DPS and the taunts and everything else. I ran my first dungeon. You can watch the video. I did my reaction to it the other night. I pulled massive quantities of mobs in the dungeon that I did last night. I think at one point we had 25 mobs that I pulled. The tank never lost aggro. The tank's health never went less than 75% health. It was completely fine. I was going balls out DPS. It was great. But I've heard people who have said, and this hasn't happened to me, but I've heard people who said, well, the aggro this, DPS that. Just take your time. If you're mythically geared and you're coming in here to do this. Remember, these are meant to be played on normal mode. Quick commercial break, everyone, to celebrate and give thanks to all of these amazing people who keep me on the air full time. Really appreciate the support. All you got to do is join as a member. You get access to private videos. You can also do super thanks on any upload or super chats and stickers on any live stream or premiere you see. And beyond that, don't forget we're multi-streaming over on Twitch now, so you can support over there as well. Thanks so much to everybody. Let's get back to the video at hand. Not mythical mode. So if you're mythically geared and you come in here and you try to do mythical level DPS in a normal dungeon, it's natural that you're going to pull aggro from the tank. It's not a flawless system. This is meant for players who are new, who have never done dungeons before, who are doing things for the story, who don't have any eye level, who don't have good gear. They're just here to do story and learn. This is training wheels, so you have to treat it appropriately and understand and work within the boundaries of that system. So once you know that, it's a great system. So right now, everybody's on passive mode. They're just hanging out, waiting for me to go do something. So if I were to go up on passive mode right now and do something like this right here. Okay, she's gonna do her thing. She's gonna pull aggro, right? And we have essentially just cleared that first area and we can loot. Now one of the other really cool things is, and I don't know that it's going to happen here in this dungeon because I don't know if there are any resource nodes for me as a skinner, as a leather worker, but one of the other really cool byproducts of doing a dungeon by yourself is if there are any resource nodes to be had in a dungeon and you're doing it on story mode, all of those resources go to you. It's great. I'm going to switch over to the controller right now. I like to play with controller. It is how it is. So the first option that we just showed you was if you know the dungeon layout. Now, I actually don't know the dungeon layout because I've only run this place a couple of times and I've always been DPS, so other people always lead the way. One of the things I'm getting ready to do, if you're following my channel, you already know this, but if you're new, time to let you know. I have a warrior who I've leveled up. He's level 64 right now, and I've been leveling up his arms, but I want him to become a protection spec tank. Now, I've never tanked these dungeons, so these follower dungeons are a perfect training ground for new players who are trying to learn their rotation, and also something very important, learn the way that you're supposed to go through the dungeon. Because if you ever do this with looking for dungeon mode on, the players who've run these dungeons 500 times, they take shortcuts, they jump over cliffs, they jump over railings, they do things that you're not supposed to do if you're a new player, and so you might be confused on the actual way that you're supposed to run this dungeon, right? So if you're someone who's learning for the first time, this is where it's very important. Remember this button down here that we talked about, dungeon assistance? Toggle to allow a follower to lead the way. Now, I like to use this option because I don't know the layout of this place. So I'm going to toggle this on, but before I do, understand that the moment you toggle this on, if you're within range of mobs, the tank is going to go pull those mobs. But the key factor here is they will start to lead you through the dungeon in the way that you were supposed to go. So this is kind of sort of like handcrafted in the sense that the people who put this together, the programmers, have defined a route that is the proper route to take. So ignoring shortcuts for a moment, the NPCs, once you toggle this, that follower is going to lead the pack and it's going to take you in the direction you're supposed to go for the first boss, and then it'll take you to the second boss, and then it'll take you to the third boss, and so on and so forth. But the good thing here is that they don't run off without you completely. They will run ahead in the direction you're supposed to go, and if they encounter enemies within the radius that they will run to, they will attack said enemies. But if I were to just stay here, they're not going to run too far. So we're going to show you what this looks like in real time. If I click this, I'll keep you safe, follow me. So we're going to let her see. So she started off in the direction we're supposed to go, but then she stopped because she's waiting for me to follow. So it's very much a system of, hey, come this way, I'll show you where you need to go, but don't worry, I'm not going to leave you behind. Take your time, breathe, read your quest journal, skin the mobs you want to skin, go take an AFK, change your kid's diaper, get a snack, go to the bathroom, do the things that you need to do as a human being. This is not a rush mode. We're not here to rush and compete a contest. We're here to just have fun and be casual. So I'm going to go ahead and move up a little bit, and she'll move up a little bit until such time as she hits the edge of the radius or she encounters mobs. So I'm going to ease up a little bit more. Ease up a little bit more. She'll probably attack this next time. There we go. Now she'll take off a little bit, but she'll only run up so far before she stops waiting for me to follow. And if at any point in time you ever think that you just want to take a break, all you do is notice the icon changed now, and it says toggle to stop your follower from leading the way, right? So that's how you turn that on and off. Very well, you take point. Turn it back on, I'll keep you safe, follow me. Turn it back off, I'll follow you, you take point. That, in a nutshell, is the follower dungeon system, everyone. It's exceptionally well done. I've had a lot of fun with it so far. I've been able to go in and do some quests that I had just hanging out in my quest journal because I don't want to bother, my group mates. And this is the thing. I knew this was coming in the pipeline, so I've held back a bunch of story missions for dungeons because I didn't want to bother the guild and say, hey, everybody, let's form up for this, that, and the other. It's like, I save my Wednesday night dungeons for things like heroic and mythical, where we're trying to, where we're going to gear up and stuff, and then Saturday nights are raid nights. So outside of that, we'll do dungeons for people who need quests and stuff, but this is going to be a great tool to allow people to go in and get quests done if they happen to be playing. Like, we have some people in our guild who are from Australia, we have some people who are from Europe, we have people who play at weird times. I'm on at 4 o'clock in the morning. Our guild does not play at 4 o'clock in the morning. Our guild is very much a, United States daytime and evening guild, not an early morning, middle of the night guild. So because I'm up early recording this video right now, this is the perfect time for me to use follower dungeons because no one else is on. So that's follower dungeons in a nutshell. Hopefully you enjoyed this guide, this overview, this walkthrough for new players. And if you did, I would love it if you would like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Don't forget, I stream daily at 8 a.m. Central here and on Twitch. If you want to come join us, we are on the Moonguard server. We are Alliance side, but anyone can join us for dungeons and raids. We've got quite a few Horde people in our guild as well, plus we mostly, all of us have Horde alts as well. I do the Adventures of my Tauren Paladin on Saturday mornings with some of the guild members. We stream those sessions, so hopefully we'll see you for those as well. Don't forget all the other playlists, play a lot of different games. Join the Discord. I'll see everybody in the next one. Until then, stay safe. Happy gaming, everyone.